Well, hello and welcome back to our virtual classroom. I'm Vivian Stewart, one of your librarians, and I have a new video for you today. Now, while you're in college, there will be many opportunities for you to learn how to do new things in and out of the classroom. You're not expected to master everything the first time, but what we do expect is for you to at least try to do the best that you can, and if you run into problems, well, then ask for assistance. I learned how to create PowerPoint presentations by watching YouTube videos. So I want to share that type of experience with you today. Okay. Now, you will not learn all of the ins and the outs of creating PowerPoints by watching my video, but what you will be able to do is to go to YouTube and find other PowerPoint videos and watch them, and then you can increase your knowledge of how to create them. So this video is entitled Creating a PowerPoint Presentation in 5 Steps. I am moving now to share my desktop with you. And the very first thing you need to do in step 1 is to open the browser of your choice. Now, if browser is a term that you're unfamiliar with, I'm simply asking you to either open up Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. The next thing that I want you to do is to enter the address that I have highlighted at the top, which is www.southwest.tn.edu. Now, I forgot to alert you that if you want to view this in full screen mode, there should be the option in the lower right-hand corner of your screen to allow you to do that. Now, the address that you have just seen highlighted at the top is the public address for our college website. So when you get to the website for the college, what I want you to do is in the blue bar across the top, select My Southwest. This happens to be our college portal, and you will need to log in. It asks you to enter your username and your password. So I am doing that now. If you happen to key something in incorrectly, you'll have an opportunity to go back and try it again. And as you see, nothing was typing for me, so let me try this again. And I'm only pressing log in one time. You just need to be a little patient, okay? So we're waiting for our page to actually open up. It has just opened up to the home page from My Southwest. Over to the left-hand side, there's a section that says Quick Launch, which is where my mouse is now. I want you to select College Email. Now, of course, there are other ways that you can access PowerPoint, but I want you to know that you have access to this particular app through Office 365. So that's why I'm taking you this route. I am logging into my email now. Now, the way that your email looks may look a little bit different from mine, and that's fine. This is just the way I have personalized mine. Over to the left-hand side where my mouse is now, there's an option that would allow you to select your apps. So I'm going there now. These are the different applications I have access to, and I am selecting PowerPoint. Waiting for it to open up. The last step in the last item in step number 1 is to not just select a blank PowerPoint presentation, but select a theme that will give it a better look than just being blank. So I am selecting more themes, and now I will select one. So as I'm scrolling down, I'm seeing which one looks the best for me to actually use. And I think I like Droplet. So that is all that is included in step number 1. So if you want to pause the video at this point, go in and try to get up to this point on your own. That will be fine. Okay. We're ready now to look at step number 2. And with step 2, I just need you to become familiar with the layout of PowerPoint and the different tools that are available. So, of course, this is our slide in this area, and you can see your different pages in the panel over to the left-hand side. This is our ribbon up at the very top that contains the different tools that are provided. We will use File when we are ready to actually save our presentation at the very end, or if you wanted to print it out. The icon here allows you to undo something that you've just done. So it's an easy way to reverse what you've done. At our home page, this is where you will be able to select to add a new slide. We'll be able to change our font colors. We could change our font styles if we want to. So if you're kind of familiar with using Microsoft Word, some of these things listed up on the home should be very familiar to you. Insert will allow us to insert a new slide. Though we can also access this from the Home tab also. But as you can see, I could select New Slide or reuse the slide. I could insert pictures or shapes if I want to. I don't know very much about Draw, so I will not talk about that one. I do know that design is found in the newer editions of PowerPoint. This has not always been available. But as you are creating your PowerPoint, it will suggest different designs that may coincide with whatever slide that you're actually working on. And I just want to close this out because I will not need that. The transitions will allow you to go from one slide to the other with ease. So there are various transitions that you can select from, so you will see how to do this. Animations can be used when you want your pictures of the content or the text on your slides to come in on the page in a certain way. Like you may want it to come in from the left or from the right, or you may want it to fade in and fade out. You can use those different type of animations, and sometimes they will hold the attention of your audience. But this is something we will not cover in this video. The slideshow option will allow you to preview your presentation at the very end, and you should always use review because you need to go through spell check before you finalize everything. And those are the tools that I think that you just need to know about at this point. But you can view another YouTube video to find out more about these different tools. That is the end of step number 2. So if you want to pause your video, become a little familiar with these tools on your own, that would be great. And step number 3, we are about to start entering the content on our slides. Now, at this point, I need you to understand that you should never try to create a PowerPoint without doing some work in advance. Because at this point, I have my paper to the right-hand side of me. I know what content I plan to enter. I would never try to work on a PowerPoint and not have any of this knowledge available because this takes you a lot longer. So do the work in advance and then come here and add it into your slides. So we have one slide that is already visible over to the left-hand side, and you can see it in the window here. This will allow us to click and add a title and click to add a subtitle. This is slide number 1. Now, before I go any further, what I want to do is add some additional slides. So there are 2 ways that I can do this. I can either use the option that says new slide here. And if I click on my down arrow, I can see the different formats that are available. Or I can go back to home and the option is here also. Now these are the different formats. I could select one that says it's the title slide. That's what number 1 is. I have one that says title and content. There's something that says to contents. I have one for comparison. There's one if you want to add a picture along with the caption. So you choose the format that is best for you. I think it is safe to use title and content. So now I have 2 slides. Now, before I add my 3rd slide, I just want to show you a quick shortcut. If I select and right-click on my 2nd slide, I have an option that says New Slide, Duplicate Slide, or Delete a Slide. And I'm selecting Duplicate. And now I have 3 slides to work with. And I think that's all we need to work with right now. So now let's go back up to number 1, which is my title and subtitle. It says click to add a title. I click and my title is This is a Test. My subtitle will be Creating a PowerPoint in 5 steps. Okay. Now, we are through, but let's say that we need to do a little formatting to make this look just a little bit better. So having knowledge of Microsoft Word comes in now. I'm selecting this as a test. And the first thing that I want to do is, because it's all the way down at the bottom of this box, is I just want to press enter. But you have these handles. So if I wanted to, I can use these handles to make it just a little bit smaller if I wanted to. But we can leave it right where it is now. I am now highlighting my text. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make this bold. The next thing that I want to do is change my font color. So I click on this down arrow. I'm selecting a different color. And now I have these 3 ellipses which says more font options. I have the ability to change my font style. So we've just done that. And let me see if I go back into it again. If I want to change the font size, I could go up to 54. If I wanted to change the alignment, the text alignment, I could go here. Now, currently right now it's on center, which is good. But if you just want to experiment by moving it around a little bit, you could. Okay, so I think I like that the way it is. So now let's go to the subheadings. We will highlight it. We will make it bold. I will change the color this time. And I think that's all that I want to do with it. Now let's use our handles, and we're just going to move this up just a little bit. Now, of course, if I wanted to move it down some, I could click in front of the word created and press enter, and that moved it down a little bit. So that is all that I want to do with slide number 1. I'm selecting slide 2. So it says click to add a title. So my title for this slide will be step 1. And I could easily come back and format later on, but I think you know how to do that. So now I could use the text that I have already decided upon to start keying information in. Now this is a bulleted list, and you can see I have my little bullet here, but if I wanted to change the style, I could. So let's just use the check mark. Or if you want to use numbers, you could. So my first bulleted item says select Google Chrome. And I press enter, which brings me to my second bullet. And my second bullet, I have go to college web page. And I spelled something incorrectly, so I'm correcting it now. And let's give it one more bullet. And I'm selecting access the college email. Okay, 3 bullet items. I am now selecting number 3. So this will be step 2. Now, this time I don't want a bullet list, okay? So I just want to show you what I'm about to do. I am just holding down the letter M as though I was typing in text. And as long as I continue to type, the information can be added as though it is in a paragraph format, okay? And I hope that makes sense to you. Now, I also want to let you know that if I was to go back to number 2, instead of having my bullet list, it just looks like this. There are options that will allow you to change the way that this actually looks. And I'm trying to see if I can actually see this. Okay, I had to go to insert, and I may want to use shapes or either smart art in order to change the way this listing actually looks. Now, we will not go into that with this particular video. I just want to let you know that you do have some options, okay? So that is all that we will do for step 3. So if you want to stop the video to practice a little bit, you can. Step number 4 is to use transitions. So I'm selecting slide 1. Now I am selecting transitions. This is my listing of different transitions that we have. Okay, so we have our first set, which is in this area. We have another set in this area, and then we have a set in this area. Now, I can select a different transition for each slide, or I can select one and apply it to all of them. But we will apply our transitions, different ones to each slide. So I think I'm going to use fade for the first one. So the duration, this says 0.7. I just want to bring that down to 0.5. Okay, let's select the second one. Go back into my transitions again. And this time, let's see, let's do curtain. My duration, I need to change this. That was a long duration on this one. So we just use 1 minute. And let's select number 3. And once again, go back into my transitions. And let's do comb. Okay. So we have now finished with our transitions. Now we want to see how it actually looks. So I am going to slideshow. And from the beginning. We don't want to use from the current slide. We want to go from the beginning. Okay. And I could not really tell what that transition looked like, but if I click for the second one, I could tell that that was a curtain. And the next one, I knew that there was a transition, but I couldn't tell what it was very much. So you could always go back in and play around with that a little bit. I'm pressing the escape key to go back. And of course, you always want to use review because you want to go in and check your spelling. Okay. Of course, it does not recognize the information there because it's just one character. But you can see over to the right-hand side, it will allow us to go through and check our spelling. Okay. Now, the last step is how to save this so that you can work on it a little bit later. I am selecting File, Save As. These are my options. Okay. I am selecting Download a Copy. It's ready to download. I would like to save this on my desktop so that I can easily access it. And I want to change the name. My name of this will be Test. And it will be saved as a PowerPoint. And I'm saving it now. So I have a safe copy on my desktop now. The next thing that I need to do is go to File and Close. Because you don't just want to close the windows out. We need to go through the proper ways of doing this. I am closing out this window. This was the window that has the various themes. And now I'm back at my email. So you go to the icon that represents your name in the upper right-hand corner. Select Sign Out. It says to hang on a moment. We're still waiting. I'm now closing out this window, but we're still in My Southwest. So I'm selecting Sign Out, which will sign me completely out of the portal. Now, I just want to quickly minimize my screen so that you can see my PowerPoint is on my desktop so that I could continue working on it. Okay, at this point, I'm about to stop sharing my screen. That brings me to the end of this presentation. And I know, it was only 5 steps, so I took a little bit longer than I possibly could have, but I wanted to make sure that I covered everything that I thought you would need to understand. So I hope that this will help you to understand how to create a very quick PowerPoint. Keep in mind that you can go to YouTube and watch other videos that will help you to understand how to use the various tools and make your PowerPoint just awesome so that your instructor will be amazed and you'll get a good grade. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you share this with other students, and just don't be afraid to try to do some things on your own by searching for YouTube videos that can help you. Have a great day, you all, and bye-bye.